Hi, I'm Ken with Provectus Group, and today I want to talk to you about something that I think is overlooked a lot, and it's also something that I believe is not really talked about much, and that's training mindset. And basically, when I say training mindset, I mean having a plan for what you would like to accomplish during your next training session. And I need to say this before I go any further. When you're doing these types of things, you need to already have a really good understanding of the seven fundamentals. And what I mean by that is not necessarily, you've perfected the seven fundamentals, because I don't think any of us will ever truly be able to perfect it and do it perfectly all the time. But you understand enough of the fundamentals to where you know what you should be doing. You know how it should look. You know the proper fundamental. So trigger pull. Trigger pull is a problem that a lot of people have, including myself. So if I know that I'm having some issues with my trigger pull, whether I'm pulling the trigger and I'm pushing the gun to the left, or for most right-handed shooters that's a problem, it's low and to the left, or I'm pulling the gun to the right, or I'm slapping the trigger, whatever that case may be, or just it's not as smooth, or the trigger pull is not as smooth as I like it to be, I know that that's something I need to work on. So before I leave the house, this is what I'm thinking about. Okay, I'm going to execute the seven fundamentals, but when I get to that specific trigger pull, I'm going to focus intently on what it is that I'm doing. And basically what encompasses that is I'm comparing what I'm doing with the trigger pull compared to what I should be doing in the proper way to do it. So we're at the range and we're about to shoot. So we're going to start with fundamental number one. We want to have a good stance. After you've acquired that, you get grip on the pistol. You're getting your sight alignment, your sight picture. And then now it's time for the trigger pull. I want you to slow down exponentially, like slow down when you're doing this trigger pull. And I want you to think about every little thing that you're doing with your fingers. The finger placement correct. Am I pulling it back at the right speed? Have I reached the wall? I shoot Glocks, so there's slack in the trigger. Have I pulled the slack out of the trigger? Am I at the wall so that I can just do that nice smooth press to the rear? I'm making sure that I'm pulling the trigger or pressing the trigger directly to the rear. Things like that. The main thing is, it doesn't matter which one of the fundamentals that you're working on, is that you slow way down. So I found this 5x5 drill. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was a shooter for 6 Hour, and it's on YouTube, and he was talking about the 5x5 drill. And how it works is you do 5 dry fire repetitions. So you're going through your dry fire just like you do at home. You do 5 dry fire repetitions, load the gun, shoot 1 round. After the 1 round, 5 more dry fire repetitions, shoot 2 rounds. After that, 5 more dry fire repetitions, then three rounds, so forth and so on, until you get to the end and you do 5 dry fire repetitions, and then you shoot 5 rounds. That's where 5x5 drill comes from. And what I do as a little bit extra, just to get some more good repetitions, is after I shoot those 5 rounds, I just turn around and I do 5 more dry fire repetitions. Perfect. So I'm at the house. I do about 20-30 minutes of dry fire exercises. Generally, when I do dry fire every single day, but it's usually only about 10 minutes. But on this day, I said, okay, try this 5x5 drill, do about 20-30 minutes of dry fire exercises at home. And after that, I went to the range. So I went to the range, I started doing the 5x5 drill. I'm shooting at a 5-inch paper target. It was 7 yards away. Now, generally, when you're doing the 5x5 drill, it's done at about the 3 to 5 yard mark. But as your level of proficiency goes up, you're going to notice that 3 to 5 yards is not challenging enough for you. So move it back a yard, so 6 yards, 7 yards, and continue doing that as your proficiency level is increasing. And it's important, as your proficiency level starts to increase and you're starting to become a good shooter, you have to constantly make sure that you're challenging yourself. So I'm at 7 yards, 5-inch target, and I shoot. And it's bullseye. Okay, I shoot the first round in the 5x5 drill. I unloaded the gun. I did 5 more dry fire repetitions, and now it's time to shoot 2. Shot the 2. They pretty much went in the same hole. That has happened once or twice before to me, but not consecutive, not 2 rounds that went into the first round, to the point to where I had to reel the target back in and verify. I'm like, okay, let me make sure that I'm just not missing the entire piece of paper. So I reel it in, I look at it, and sure enough, the 3 shots, for the most part, went into the same hole, or the 2 shots went into the same hole as the first shot. So I'm ecstatic. I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. So I reel it back out 7 yards. I continue my 5x5 drill. Immediately, I was able to see a vast improvement. Now, that was 2 weeks ago. I continued, after this day, I continued my normal 10-minute daily dry fire exercise routine, and I've been to the range maybe 2 or 3 times since in the past 2 weeks. And when I tell you that my shot group has continued to decrease as far as the size of the shot group, it's still decreasing, and I'm now more consistently able to keep those groups extremely tight, putting holes in the holes, things like that. And I think that that's great. Anytime you can be at 7 yards or whatever, and you have a 3-inch group, you're a good shooter, or a 4-inch group, a 5-inch group, 6-inch group, you're a good shooter. So to be able to tighten that up even more by simply, continue to do your dry fire exercises, but incorporating a 5x5 drill, but on top of that, having that training mindset. And I think that that is what really has started bringing me to the next level. And I think that that's everybody's goal. So I wanted to share this with you guys. It's very, very simple. Identify a problem that you have within the 7 fundamentals. Have that training mindset, or come up with a plan for that particular problem. Come up with a drill or something to do to correct the problem, and go and do it. I want you guys to try it. And after you try it, tell me what you think. Leave comments in the video, and tell me what you think. And I'd love to hear from beginning shooters, and I'd also love to hear from guys and girls who are intermediate and advanced level shooters. I think that this is something, having that training mindset can help everyone. And if you love videos like this, subscribe to the channel. I plan on making a lot more videos like this in the future. And if not, you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Provectus group. You'll find a lot more videos like this, upcoming training classes that we have going on. I like putting relevant events that are going on within the news regarding safety and things like that. I like putting stuff like that on there. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And always remember to stay safe, train hard, and train often. Provectus Group.